us. Here he is, Mr. Cool himself, Don Johnson.
He asked me what would I describe myself, an actor, director, singer, and I said yes. and then ultimately I amended it by saying I'm a storyteller.
And I'm mentally sharp, and I think I'm the luckiest guy alive.
Don Johnson had mansions, millions, and the world at his feet. Then, almost overnight, he was drowning in debt, moments away from losing his home and vanishing into bankruptcy. Don Johnson was once the definition of cool. With his rolled-up sleeves, stubbled jaw, and thousand-yard stare in Miami Vice, he reigned as television's ultimate icon of the 1980s. But behind the fast cars, fame, and fortune lay a man whose journey was anything but smooth. Now 75, Johnson is a survivor, not just of Hollywood's golden era, but of personal downfall, near bankruptcy, and the painful process of rebuilding from the ashes. His story is a testament to the power of resilience, even when you lose everything. But the big question is, how did he lose it all? This and all heartbreaking truths will be revealed in this video. To understand the man behind the fame, we have to go back to a boy lost in a broken home, dreaming of something more. A childhood of chaos, searching for safe ground. Donnie Wayne Johnson was born in 1949 in Flat Creek, Missouri, and raised in Wichita, Kansas, a place far removed from Hollywood, but filled with the kind of emotional landmines that leave invisible scars. His mother, Nell, was a beautician at just 19 when she had him. His father, Wayne, was a farmer. Their marriage was short-lived. The house Johnson grew up in was filled with tension and instability, and they were very poor. There were no roadmaps to success, just paychecks to paychecks, just survival. He described those early years as feral. There were arrests for petty theft as a teenager and time spent in juvenile detention. The streets almost claimed him. Then he discovered acting. When he got a drama scholarship to the University of Kansas and later trained at the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco, it was the first time he felt truly seen. But the road to stardom wasn't straight. It's full of rejections, potholes, and temptations. Road to stardom.
For 15 years, I struggled as an actor, and most of my focus was in struggling to survive.
For years, Johnson fought to break through. The 1970s were full of false starts, mediocre roles, canceled pilots, and quiet despair. Casting agents liked his look, but didn't trust his presence. One producer famously said, "He's too pretty for serious drama, too intense for comedy." Johnson was broke. Then, in 1984, Miami Vice changed everything. As Detective Sonny Crockett, Johnson embodied the era. Fashion-forward, emotionally tortured, and brutally charismatic. The show wasn't just a hit, it was a revolution. He was suddenly everywhere. Magazine covers, premieres, music videos. He even released a gold-certified pop album. And with fame came fortune, millions upon millions. The homes got bigger, the toys flashier, a Ferrari Testarossa in the garage, a private jet on standby, a sprawling 17-acre Aspen mansion with panoramic mountain views.
For me, Miami Vice was obviously there was an enormous debt of gratitude that I have to the show for its unparalleled skyrocketing to fame that it gave me. It gave me financial security. It gave me it established me my persona as an actor.
The Kansas kid had made it, but success came with a ticking clock. Personal struggles. As years went by, the fame started to dim. So did the paychecks. Johnson struggled to maintain the lavish lifestyle. divorces, custody battles, alcoholism, drug abuse, lawsuits, all expensive, all draining. By the early 2000s, Don Johnson's financial situation had quietly deteriorated. Reports surfaced that he was living off credit and rolling over debts. In 2004, the world got a glimpse behind the curtain. Johnson was on the brink of losing his $10.6 million 17-acre Aspen estate, a property that had once symbolized his success. Officials arrived at the ranch with court documents ready to seize the home unless he could pay a debt of $930,000. And fast. The crisis stemmed from a loan Johnson had taken from a private finance company. He had used the estate as collateral, but when he defaulted, the lenders moved in. According to reports, Johnson had just hours to respond before foreclosure proceedings began. He described this as the most terrifying experience he had in his life. He felt like he was alone. He asked for help and called even those people he didn't have contact with for years. Thankfully, he was able to borrow funds from a friend. This was his humbling moment. As if almost losing his home wasn't enough, another bombshell came shortly after: money laundering allegations. In November 2002, Johnson was briefly detained by German authorities at the Swiss-German border. He had $8 billion worth of financial documents in his car: bond papers, checks, and notes. Though he wasn't formally charged, suspicions swirled. Headlines blared. Speculation spread like wildfire. The incident cast a long shadow. Studios hesitated. Producers backed away. In Hollywood, reputation is currency, and his had taken a hit. Rebuilding, from financial crisis to creative revival.
So it changed me, but I think for the most part it's changed me for the better.
Many stars in Johnson's position would have faded into obscurity, but Johnson chose to fight his way back. Slowly, he rebuilt his reputation, not as a flashy leading man, but as a seasoned, compelling character actor. His role in Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained signaled a creative rebirth. Then came the box office hit Knives Out, followed by HBO's Watchmen. Critics took notice. Johnson hadn't just survived, he had evolved. Off-screen, he embraced a quieter life. He focused on his family, the man who walked through fire.
When you make a movie and it pleases people to that degree, I mean, it's kind of like, well, okay, I've done my job. You know, I've been of service. And that's the greatest thing that a human being can do, be of service. I do something that I love to do, and I've done it for my whole life, and I've done it sometimes when I've been super poor.
At 75, Don Johnson isn't pretending anymore. He's still handsome, still sharp, but he's different. There's a gentleness now. He spends his days writing, reading, mentoring, and walking his land in Aspen, the same land he nearly lost. His story isn't one of fame, it's one of resilience, and in that, Don Johnson isn't just a television legend, he's human.